I came up with this recipe over the weekend because I made a huge bomb of some millet. My first time trying millet. Millet is a grain-like seed. I decided I wasn't going to look up how to cook it. I just cooked it like I would rice, and absolutely wrong. Apparently millet needs about 5 times its weight in water. It swells immensely. So I ended up with this pot of gummy, sticky, half overcooked and half undercooked millet. And I used way too much in the pot. So I'm not going to waste good organic food. Never waste good organic food. So anyway, it had this real mashed potato consistency. It's almost like mashed potatoes with seeds in it. So I decided to make, we make fish cakes here in Newfoundland, so I decided to make, well, I don't eat fish, but I decided to make a potato type of cake with it. So, and it turned out really good, and my husband loved them, so I still got loads of leftover millet here, so I'm going to make another batch, and I'm probably going to freeze these ones up. And I'm still going to have a little bit more left over, which I'll give to my rooster, Comey, because he's going to love that. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 2 cups of cooked, overcooked, partially undercooked, whatever way you want to look at it. It's badly cooked millet. So I'm going to chop that down because it's all, like I said, it's gone like a pot of goop. But never wastes food. There's always a way you could use it. The worst case scenario, I would have just popped it in soup, froze it up in little pieces, and popped some in soup. I want a little tiny bit more. Alright, and I'll reserve the rest of this maybe for a few more cakes and for my rooster. Alright, so sort of chop it up a little bit, and to this I'm going to add 1/2 of a chopped organic onion and 1 clove of garlic, and it's just roughly minced. Add that in there. This is what I call everything spice. 2 tablespoons in here, and it's just my own mixture of spices that I love the flavor of. So you can flavor them any way you like. I'm going to flavor mine with that. Then I want to use a teaspoon of Celtic salt. You can measure it out if you like. Then I have some fresh dried oregano from my, well, dried oregano, it's not fresh, but it's fresh from my garden. So I'm just going to pull out the stalks here and crumble that in. I'll crumble it in the bowl first. And just put that in there. Some cracked pepper. And 1 organic egg. Okay. So I'm going to mash all of this together really good. And you can see it almost looks like potatoes. I'm going to incorporate all that egg in there. I'm surprised they turned out really good. Like I said, don't waste food. If you cook something wrong, there's always another purpose for it. And soup is a fantastic thing to use up things that have been undercooked or overcooked or whatever. So you can always just pop it in the freezer and add it bit by bit to some soup. As I'm sure this would have probably only turned out to taste something like a, or be the texture of something like barley in soup. So, especially when you're buying organic, there's no need to waste something if you make a mistake. So we want to chop all that millet into it. Probably a potato masher would have been a better choice. I'm just going to use this here. Alright, and then we're going to, and you can see the texture of it. It actually holds together when you press. So I'm going to move over to the stove. Now, I just have a pan on low heat here, and I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and just swirl that around in the pan. Literally just form it into a ball in my hand, and then press it down to make like a cake. There we go, perfect. And add it into the hot oil. There we go, we'll just place another one in there. Flatten it. And these are actually quite delicious. I tried one myself. I'm trying to stay away from more grains, and millet is higher protein seed, so it's a little better. It's still a little high on the glycemic index. It can actually grow here. We accidentally grown it because the birdseed germinated in our garden. It's great to eat. Oh, that one fell apart a little bit. Great to eat things that can grow in your environment too, because I'm going to give this a try to grow next year. So I'm almost through here now. I'll make 6 cakes. There's a little bit left over, so I'll just poke a little bit on the top of each one. Now I'll try to lift the camera now in a second to show you. I'm just flattening them out a little bit. Once you see that they start to turn golden around the edges, which they're not yet, I'm just going to flip them over, and that's it. You're ready to serve. We actually had them with a little bit of organic ketchup, and they're really nice. They have the texture and feeling of like a potato cake. You know, it's pretty easy, and it used up some millet that I overcooked, and made a great little side dish for my husband because he loves carby, starchy food, so it's great for him. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.